Right now, as you are watching this, the world's most critical energy artery is being fought over with missiles, warships, and boots rapidly approaching the ground. 20% of the entire planet's oil supply flows through a narrow strip of water called the Strait of Hormuz, and at this very moment, it is effectively closed. Ships have turned back, tankers are anchored and waiting, insurance companies have declared it a war zone, and the United States military is sending thousands of forces directly toward the center of it all. This is not a drill. This is not a warning. This is already happening. And what occurs in the next few weeks could change the price of everything you buy, the stability of every government, and the balance of power in the entire Middle East. Let's go back to where this started. On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched a massive coordinated air campaign against Iran in what was named Operation Epic Fury. The strikes targeted Iran's military infrastructure, nuclear sites, and in a move that shocked the world, resulted in the death of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. Iran's response was immediate and devastating. Tehran launched waves of missiles and drones at U.S. military bases across the region, at Israel, and at Gulf Arab states. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, and the UAE all reported Iranian attacks on their energy sites. And then Iran made its most powerful move yet. It closed the Strait of Hormuz. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps transmitted warnings via radio to every vessel in the waterway. No ship is allowed to pass, and they backed up that threat with action. Iranian fast boats, mines, and drone swarms began targeting commercial vessels attempting to transit. Within days, tanker traffic dropped by approximately 70%. Over 150 ships anchored outside the strait, waiting. Major shipping giants like Maersk and Hapag-Lloyd suspended operations entirely. Iraq was forced to begin shutting down its massive Rumaila oil field because tankers couldn't leave. Qatar's energy minister warned the world was looking at an event that could, in his words, bring down economies. The strait had not just become dangerous, it had become a weapon. This is the crisis that now sits at the center of everything. The Strait of Hormuz is only 21 miles wide at its narrowest point, but through those miles flows roughly 1/5 of all the world's traded oil and liquefied natural gas every single day. Iran understood exactly what closing it would do, and now the United States is scrambling to respond. Here is what is currently moving toward that crisis. The Pentagon has deployed 2 Marine Expeditionary Units, massive self-contained amphibious assault forces. The first is built around the USS Tripoli, an America-class assault ship that sailed from Japan, transited the Strait of Malacca, stopped at Diego Garcia, and is expected to reach the combat zone by late March or early April. The second is built around the USS Boxer, a Wasp-class assault ship based in Southern California. Together, these 2 units bring approximately 4,500 Marines and sailors toward the Persian Gulf. These are not support troops. Marine Expeditionary Units are trained for one thing: rapid amphibious assault from the sea. They are the first forces in, and they specialize in exactly the kind of raid and seizure operations that military planners are now openly discussing. On top of the Marines, the Pentagon has ordered approximately 2,000 soldiers from the 82nd Airborne Division's Immediate Response Force to deploy to the region. The 82nd Airborne, based at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, is the United States Army's primary forced entry unit. This brigade-sized formation can deploy anywhere on Earth within 18 hours. They are trained to parachute into contested territory, seize airfields, and hold ground while heavier forces arrive behind them. Combined, all these forces bring the total number of newly deployed American ground troops in close proximity to Iran to somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 personnel, the largest ground deployment to the Middle East since the Iraq War. So the question every analyst, every government, and every energy market is now asking is, what are these forces actually going to do? The answer likely centers on one small island you may have never heard of before this week, Karg Island. Sitting just 15 miles off Iran's southwestern coast in the Persian Gulf, Karg Island is a coral outcrop roughly a third the size of Manhattan, but its strategic importance cannot be overstated. Approximately 90% of all of Iran's crude oil exports flow out of Karg Island. It is Iran's single greatest source of revenue, and the one piece of territory whose control could give the United States enormous leverage over Tehran.
On March 13th, U.S. forces already conducted what Trump called one of the most powerful bombing raids in Middle East history against Karg Island, striking over 90 military targets, including naval mine storage facilities, missile bunkers, and the island's airfield, while deliberately sparing the oil infrastructure itself. Trump was direct about why. He wanted Tehran to understand that the oil could be next. Since then, the Trump administration has been openly weighing an operation to physically seize or blockade Karg Island. Sources familiar with White House thinking told journalists that the reasoning is straightforward. If the U.S. controls the island, it controls Iran's ability to export oil, and that gives Washington the leverage it needs to force Tehran to reopen the strait and come to the negotiating table. One senior administration official put it bluntly: if Trump has to take Karg Island to make it happen, that is going to happen. But Iran has not been sitting still. Satellite and intelligence reporting shows that Iran has been moving additional military personnel, anti-aircraft systems, shoulder-fired missiles, and laying traps across the island in preparation for exactly this scenario. Military experts are divided on whether seizing the island is wise. Retired Admiral James Stavridis, the former Supreme Allied Commander of NATO, warned that any assault on Karg would face drone swarms, explosive-laden small boats, and missile barrages during the approach. The island sits just 15 miles from the Iranian mainland, meaning forces on it would be under near constant threat of rocket and missile attack. Former military intelligence analyst Lynette Nussbacher noted that while the island's defenses could likely be overcome, the real question is whether holding it would actually achieve the strategic goal of reopening the strait, since Iran's ability to threaten shipping comes not only from Karg, but the entire Iranian coastline, its submarines, and its vast stockpile of naval mines. U.S. officials themselves acknowledge there are believed to be as many as 5,000 Iranian naval mines that could be deployed in the strait, a scenario one analyst called simply catastrophic. Beyond Karg Island, there are other scenarios on the table. The Marines could conduct helicopter-borne raids against Iranian missile batteries and mine storage facilities along the Hormuz coastline, essentially trying to clear the shores so that commercial shipping can resume under naval escort. Qishm Island, a larger island sitting directly in the Strait of Hormuz, has also emerged as a potential target, with intelligence reports indicating that anti-ship missiles, mines, and drone systems are being stored in underground tunnels there. In the most dramatic scenario being discussed, U.S. Special Forces could potentially attempt to secure Iran's estimated 440 kilograms of highly enriched uranium from a previously bombed nuclear facility at Isfahan, though experts consider this the most difficult and least likely operation, given the forces currently deployed. As of today, no ground operation has been formally authorized. Trump has publicly said he does not plan to put boots on the ground inside Iran, while simultaneously refusing to rule it out. Meanwhile, fragile and contested diplomatic signals are in the air. Trump claims to have had constructive conversations with Iranian leadership about a complete resolution to hostilities. Iran denies any talks are happening, calling Trump's statements a tactic to buy time. Pakistan has stepped forward as a potential mediator, with Pakistani army chiefs speaking directly with Trump and the Pakistani Prime Minister urging both sides toward de-escalation. Iran has laid out 5 conditions to end the war, including a guaranteed cessation of hostilities, compensation for war damages, and a comprehensive peace across all fronts, including resistance groups throughout the region. The world is watching a pressure campaign unlike anything seen in decades. The United States has struck over 7,000 targets inside Iran since February 28th. It has hit more than 40 Iranian mine-laying vessels and 11 submarines. It has already dropped 5,000-pound bunker-busting munitions on underground missile silos along Iran's Hormuz coastline. And now nearly 3,000 additional forces are converging on the Persian Gulf, with the capability to go from sea to shore in hours. Whether the next move is diplomatic or military, the window is narrowing. The longer the Strait of Hormuz stays closed, the worse the economic damage becomes, not just in the Middle East, but for every country on Earth whose economy depends on affordable energy. And at the center of it all, a 15-mile wide stretch of water and a small island that the world never thought it would know by name. That is where history is being written right now.